I'm speaking with Micahel Bikard from INSEAD, who made a very interesting presentation, and I'd like to ask him a few questions about his paper. So welcome, Micahel.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your paper and what you presented.
So I presented a paper co-authored with Isabel Fernandez-Mateo, a former colleague of mine at London Business School. It's a paper where we look at the drivers of ideas being built upon and spreading. And we're specifically interested in how the gender of the person having the idea matters for the idea itself.
Very interesting. And what was the context that you studied?
So we look at instances where men and women have the same idea, so that we can see how much attention those ideas get. In this case, we're looking at scientific ideas, so simultaneous discoveries in science. And a man and a woman have the same idea; they come up with the same discovery, and we look at how much attention did each of these ideas, which are the same, get from inventors.
Very interesting. And what were your findings?
It's a little bit depressing. We find that ideas get a lot less attention when they come from women than from men. It's about 30 to 40% difference.
How were you measuring attention?
Patent citations to paper. So ideas are described in scientific papers. When inventors write inventions, protecting their patents, protecting their inventions, they describe often the state of the field, the state of the scientific field, and they cite whatever science they think is relevant that comes to mind. So that gives us an opportunity to see what papers are top of mind for them. And we can see that the paper from men are a lot more top of mind than the papers from women, even though they describe the same discovery.
Wow, that's really interesting. Why should we care about this research?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons why we should care about this. From a standpoint of, well, at a basic level, it's not fair. Right? Like from a general human standpoint, well, women should get just as much attention if the idea is as good as men are. Right? So at a very basic level, we should care for that reason. We also should care, I think, for people who care about innovation. That should matter. Because we should want innovators to build on the best possible ideas, stand on the highest possible shoulders, if you want.
Right.
And if they discount ideas that are great just because they came from women, then everybody loses. So we get less innovation in the world.
Very interesting.
But there is a third reason why I think we should care, which is that we know that women's careers are more difficult than men, at least in academia, in science. And our paper, I think, documents a new channel through which there is a playing field that's not level, right? So it's disadvantage for women.
Can you speculate a little bit on some remedies or some kind of ways of mitigate anything that you're noticing here?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think being aware of it is already a good beginning, so that at least women don't get punished for not getting attention, even though if you keep the idea constant, they just get less attention. I'm hopeful. I discuss those dynamics in my MBA class in classrooms, so that make sure that MBAs know about that bias and they can correct for it in their professional life. I mean, if the paper eventually gets published and gets attention, I hope that it can help change things moving forward by just spreading awareness.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting study that you've done. And for me, just personally, I think that, we usually think about innovation diffusion and we never consider, some of these nuances of where the actual ideas are coming from. And I think it's a really interesting study. So good luck with the paper. And thanks a lot for joining me today.
Thank you so much.